We imagine you have understood that within this break, your vibration has risen, as indeed have many. How so? Because it is inevitable. The more one becomes in tune with their truth and makes a point of living that way, the vibration of that energy within and around has to lift. This great compassion that is so heart-opening, so tender, so gossamer, so vulnerable, so exposed to every feeling. How is it that we feel with such tenderness every nuance of hurt that another experiences? It is here that we see with such clarity all that was previously hidden by the veil of separateness. Here we see that every hurt ever directed toward us was a shield that hid the wounds of the giver. We can see it so clearly, and in the perceiving of it, our own hurts dissolve, because now we understand. The increase of high resonating light flowing to Earth, as well as being manifest through the presence of increasingly more evolved states of consciousness, is causing a great deal of ancient but active karmic energy to surface and manifest, allowing it to be recognized as obsolete and no longer valid in an evolving world. Quantum physicists recognize universal consciousness, but they do not know the qualities of its essence. They do know that we are part of it, and that we participate in infinite consciousness. Every entity that exists arises within universal consciousness. We all share in the identity of humanity, expressing ourselves in ways that enable us to participate in experiences that we choose to have. We choose them by the qualities of our beliefs about ourselves and our perspective, by which we modulate the energies that we recognize and focus our attention on. We direct the vibratory expressions of the qualities of our thoughts and feelings, creating our personal radiance. And that self-awareness, in turn, lifts the vibrational frequency in which you function. So many times we ask you to consider who you have become compared to the you were once familiar with. You feel nothing is taking place on your planet. You say nothing is happening. You say there is no change. Look inside of yourselves. Look how you have changed. The changes must come from you first and foremost, in order for you to be on top of the changes that are to come and the way they will be presented to you. Changes on the outside, you mean? I'm only now getting comfortable with living life from this perspective of the heart. I wonder, what is it like to live our lives consciously from the soul level on a continuous daily basis? Are we ready for this step? We are certainly ever called to move forward. As leaders, we are called to the breaking edge, always blazing the trail for others to follow. I remember years ago my first encounter with soul-level consciousness. I was at a retreat for advanced metaphysical teachings. We had been doing fairly deep meditational work for a couple of days. In one of these meditational sessions, we were directed to go up to soul-level consciousness. Here, we were directed to open our eyes and look around. What did we see? Now, realize we were deep in meditation. When we open our eyes in meditation, it is not the physical eyes that open. News that is presented simply as information carries a different energy from when it is used as a tool to induce fear. Many of those who work in this industry are not intentionally hoping to cause fear and are unaware of how they are being taught to give information. This is why you must learn to read between the lines and trust your intuition. And worry, which in turn serves to create, maintain, and sustain manifestations of separation. They will take actions, create scenarios, and promote fear in whatever forms they believe will keep the majority hypnotized and thus providing them with power. All of us together participate in the consciousness of humanity and create our state of being. As we become more observant, we can realize our increasing compassion and desire for peace. The desire for greater freedom, love and abundance is increasing. When we are able to realize how we are the directors of our attention, the qualities we desire can come into our experience through our alignment with their vibrations. As we imagine ourselves being compassionate and kind in every circumstance, including for ourselves, we come into alignment with the energy of the heart of our being. We are being prompted to resolve our attachments to everything. Because we have the innate ability to create and manifest everything we could ever want through our connection with universal consciousness. We are the creators of everything we realize as real. We control our realization, subject to our beliefs about ourselves. We choose our own limitations in every moment, either intentionally or by default to our subconscious programming. Energy, which everything is, can get stuck, yet it still moves, it still vibrates, it cannot not. The question is, how do you choose to manipulate your energy? How are you choosing to make it work for you? One can moan and groan about the dire state of affairs throughout your planet, and indeed, this is how it appears to be. Yet, it is you, by working with the energy of self, by learning, by practicing how to be friends with it. You, in doing so, are not just changing your individual environment, you are changing everything. This is why we continually continue to express thoughts of building on the self-esteem. This is why we shall forever chat with you about remembering who you are. The importance of this is so important. For when you do, when you truly understand that you are so much more than who you think yourself to be, all that needs to be removed from your planet will leave sooner rather than later. The concept that everyone you meet is another yourself took on a whole different meaning. The concept that we are all one became true in a very literal sense. The concept that when we hurt another, we are hurting ourselves became very real. Everyone will have their own unique experience of the soul level of consciousness. We all perceive from our own conceptual identity. My experience, for sure, was to demonstrate that unity level of consciousness. Soul level consciousness is also known as the higher self. This term may be more comfortable because it is more personal. It is the part of you that is wisdom. It is that part of you that resides in the peace that the world knows not. We have all had some degree of contact with this part of self. Know that the high resonating frequencies of a state of consciousness imbued with the realization of oneness is automatic protection against lower resonating energies that are unable to align with it. Be aware of low resonating issues and their frightening appearances, but do not invite them to become your state of consciousness. Learn to be in the world, but not of it. The one divine consciousness, God individualized as infinite form and variety, is an absolute truth. However, as we have said many times, absolute truth does not, cannot manifest from intellectual knowledge alone. It is just the first step. Truth must become an attained state of consciousness before it can manifest outwardly, because consciousness is the creative substance of all form, which is why every person is either consciously or unconsciously creating their own world in every moment. It is like learning to drive, where you must first learn about, study, and practice all the bells and whistles involved in driving, but with practice, driving soon becomes so automatic that you don't even think about it. By reprogramming our subconscious, we can intentionally expand our conscious awareness and transform our realization. We can take drastic steps in interfering with our subconscious operations to open our awareness to our innate, expanded identity by challenging ourselves to overcome our perceived limitations, and by living to realize that we are greater than we had believed. If we challenge ourselves to be grateful in situations that we dislike, we enable the reprogramming of our subconscious to vibrate at a higher resonant frequency. Since we hold all of reality as we know it in our own consciousness, we have the ability to change our conscious awareness to a realm of compassion, love, joy, and personal fulfillment. This can occur by our intention to elevate our own reality. By imagining that we are living in a world of energetic support for all life, we can realize this quality of vibratory alignment in our mental and emotional state of being, transforming our life experience in alignment with our true essence in the consciousness of our Creator. Many want to know where this planet is heading, and we have told you, into a brighter day, a brighter light. A world where souls have come to such an awakening within themselves that there cannot be anything other than love presented from the inside out. This is where you are heading. This is your journey home. For the more you understand yourself, the more you understand love, for that is all that you are. Therefore, the closer to feeling home you become. It is in the knowing of love that is you, that enables you to accept that home is wherever you reside. Home is whatever vibration you choose to be in. Yet, there are feelings in a meditation, for example, or when one is in a particular space and they would say they feel so at home. It isn't yet that easy to remain in that vibe all the time when there is so much pulling us out of it that we have no control of. Those who choose to fill their consciousness with beliefs of duality, separation, and two powers should not then blame others for the creations they are choosing to create, because they would be able to hold light in the face the negative appearances they knew would unfold. If you are drawn to these messages, then you are of this group and are doing the work even when engaged in seemingly ordinary activities of daily life, because your consciousness goes with you wherever you go. You came to be the light that is always, not sometimes, the only real power, because one with God is a majority. Most human minds are still somewhat conditioned to these emotions as the result of programming from hundreds of lifetimes lived in three-dimensional consciousness. You are presently clearing this old programming, but as you move into a new state of awareness, the mind becomes confused. Human minds are programmed by the past, continue to draw from the collective, and attempt to hold you in what is already known by offering an infinite variety of reasons as to why this or that is right or better than something new.